trouble. I worked in Pedro. We're listening to a little bit of low-down traffic. So enjoy some travelers. I worked in Pedro. Enjoy some travelers and enjoy some patterns. You don't pay me no mind. Get some teacups on the table and some water boiling. I hope that you're putting a tea kettle on at home now. We have some lovely flowers sent by Judson today. And Pat has told us that she's going to have us a phone line installed so that we can take phone calls. I think that'll be in Studio A. And that'll be, I know a lot of people have wondered if we could take phone calls for some time. And so the call-ins will be much improved when that happens. So that'll be wonderful. Yes! Hey, good to see you. Did you know that the freeze went and Hang On or Himself have both been posted to
he's a whiskey-headed man.
Google Video now?
What?
Yes, he stay drunk all the time.
Do you have a computer?
I don't want one in.
Well, he's a whiskey-headed man. Yes, he stay drunk all the time.
What has been posted? You have posted it, Free Tibet?
Free Tibet. I edited out just that little song with you sitting right over there, singing Free Tibet. And I edited out the one where we sing about the sour apple tree.
Yeah.
And they sing along. Everybody sing along with them. I use the ones that everybody sing along the most on.
Yeah.
They sing along.
Great.
And
That's what I like.
yeah, they're great. They are great. Seriously. Look here, we got flowers.
Daffodil.
That's a sign of spring. We've got to quit using this kind of sweetener.
Using what?
This kind of sweetener.
Go to just eat sugar.
Walking up and down the street, he's driving, talking with
Oh, no.
everyone he meets.
They say it's natural.
It tastes bad.
Stays drunk
It's-
all the time. Well, if you don't stop drinking,
Out there and see
I
you laugh.
believe he gonna lose his mind.
All right. I got some music playing in the background and running over you here in a minute when I get my headphones on.
Oh, it's all right.
I'll make some adjustments.
What are we playing?
I don't know. Oh, well, in the background? Low down traffic. You want to hear him? You hear him now?
Yeah.
Can you hear him in there or not? Is it playing?
Yeah, he's a whiskey-headed man.
Oh, you got
Yes, he
two
stays
separate.
drunk all the time.
I'm getting ready to put these on. You like those, don't you?
Well, he's a whiskey-headed man.
Can you hear that?
Yes, he stays
I'm getting ready
drunk
to take
all
you
the
off.
time.
I mean, take them off so I can take your headphones off and plug mine in so I can hear.
Well, if you don't
But you
stop
You don't have one
drinking,
headset set?
There's only one hole.
Jack?
Yeah. There's only one hole to plug it into.
Technically.
Yeah, so. There. Perfect.
well, every time I see that man,
Oh, it's whiskey-headed
he's
man.
in some whiskey joint. He's trying
Did you need to hear
make a
that? Were you
bet,
going to try to play along with it?
trying to get another half a pint. Well, he's a whiskey-headed man. Yes, he stays drunk all the time. Well, if he don't stop drinking, I believe he gonna lose his mind.
Wiggle your chair a minute. Wiggle your chair a minute. More than that. That's good.
Oh.
There we go. All right. It's yours now, or as they say out in Madison County when I used to live out there, they'd say it's all urine.
It's yarn.
Urine. I thought they said urine.
Yarn. No, it's young'uns, urn, yuns. It's yuns.
Yunses.
It's yunses.
And Yunses.
Yeah, it's even worse. That's even worse.
There's Yunses too.
If we had some nice words of that, it'd be good. the subprime mortgage, Wall Street meltdown blues. Well, T for Texas, T for Tennessee. Well, T for Texas, T for Tennessee. And I for Iraq, that war made a fool out of me. I got them blues, blues, got a blues.
Subprime mortgage blues.
Yeah.
It was going with the blue.
You like that? Sing some more while you're getting the tea ready?
Oh yeah, sing. This is your good chance.
We're gonna drink muddy water, sleep in a hollow log. We're gonna drink muddy water, sleep in a hollow log. Then to be in a old Marshall jailhouse, treated like an old hound dog.
Not bad now.
Oodle-dee, oodle-dee, oodle-dee. God, I don't like the gun parts. I'm changing my mind about the gun part.
No,
Well, Kate got up at 4 o'clock. Sit to your driver, get the bowlers hot. Put on your water, put on your coat. Head out the window, watch my drivers roll, watch my drivers roll. Watch my drivers roll. Well, stick your wind out the window, hit your head out the window, watch my drivers roll. Say.
I'm coming back in a minute.
Let's do this. Didn't you say you played the harmonica?
Yeah, I'm not the guitar player. You know, you've seen me do
good.
songs before. I'm not the guitar player. I never was a guitar player in the band except one time for about 2 weeks. I was the guitar player because we lost our guitar player and didn't have one and all that. But I was always the harmonica player. That's what I was. And I played harmonica with Chuck Berry and stuff. You know, I was a good harmonica player.
Yeah, I like a harmonica. Harp. French harp's what we always called it.
French harp, mouth harp.
I always thought it was good, interesting. It was called a French harp and a mouth organ at the same
Mouth
time.
organ. That's harmonica. I used to play it. If I'd go get me some, I'd play along, you know? But I need to go get some.
Oh, I ran over I did.
You ran over your guitar? Good goodness, what on earth came over you?
Well, now it's done. Everything has happened to it. Well, I was kind of in a little bit of a rush, and I left it
come in here?
out in the parking lot just now. That's not bad. I can
Oh no!
I'll put some
Can't
glue
get
on
your
that.
fist
It
through
could have
it.
been a lot worse. I stopped instantly.
Is it affect the action?
No, it's
That's
just kind of
amazing.
rough on the body. Well,
It's
this
time-
guitar is going to be. I'm glad it's been run over now. Maybe it won't have to take it anymore.
It's time for that guitar to go through the shop and get its bridge put back on.
Yeah,
and
I
they
think
can-
so.
and
I think
save that
exact-
piece of wood there. No, don't throw it. Look, you're losing,
No, I think you're absolutely
you're
right.
losing pieces of it, and you can have all that
Yeah.
light glued back together. But you know,
It's been run over by.
It's going to be expensive.
Or I might just leave it like it is and just let it just finally, by gosh, just fall apart.
Well, like Willie Nelson's guitar. Does Willie get that guitar fixed, or does he just let it go?
I think he just lets it go. He just wore it out, I think.
Yeah.
Could have been worse. I stopped, like I say, I stopped instantly.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that.
I do.
You know I do, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
God, I hate that. And I hate that you did it coming to the show. That makes me feel so bad. Uh-oh. You know what that is, don't you?
Already?
Yeah. That's an alarm going off. What that is. And you know why that alarm's going off, don't you?
I do know why that alarm's going off.
It's time for the 420 roll. It's time, boys and girls, for the 420 roll. Okay. Now the 420 roll is I've pushed the snooze button now. And I can't turn it off.
With a storm, you driving your car. Stormy when you play your guitar.
420 roll is a little tradition we have here. Where we bring in some a little bit of pre-recorded entertainment here for about where we take a little bit of a 10-minute break here. Let's see if I can find today's roll-in. What's in here? Thursday, no. This is Friday. Where's Friday? Here it is. We're gonna try to get it to work this time.
Hey, here we go. Got the 420 blue.
Yeah, we didn't have as good luck with it last time.
Why?
Last week. Well, I forgot to put it in. I think. So we made it happen just at another time. But I didn't set the alarm or something. One of those crazy things that happens when you're trying to do a show. So here it is. The 420 alarm has gone off, and we're going to be rolling here any minute.
You're watching the 420 roll.
When you were young, you were the king of carrot flowers. Now you built a tower, tumbling through the trees, with only rattlesnakes that fell all around your feet. Mom would stick a fork right into Daddy's shoulder, and Dad would throw the floor as we would play and learn what each other's bodies were for. This is the room one afternoon I knew I could love you, how I sank into your soul, into that secret place where no one dares to go. Mom would drink until she was no longer speaking. Dad would dream of all the different ways to die, each one a little more than he could dare to try.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also,
Watch The Casey Waters Show, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. on URTV. Join me, your host, Casey Waters, as I present to you unique and useful insight into complex niches of philosophy with a Buddhist, Christian, existential, personal, eclectic perspective. Also, I present fantasy fiction of my own creation that relates to all sorts of attitudes that are interwoven to give you a fresh new perspective on situations. Also, I have book reviews on my show. I review books that deal with frontier quantum physics, UFOs, prayer, and other topics. Included in the Casey Waters Show is fascinating graphic artwork by Judson Laird, featuring his varied styles of captivating art that are manipulated using interesting graphics. So don't forget to watch The Casey Waters Show, Sunday nights, 9 p.m. on URTV. You never know what will be next on this wonderful show.
Good morning. Welcome to the Pleasure Saucer. Always Cry Theater and a crowded fire.
You're watching the 420 roll.
This is the 420 roll.
All right. And welcome
The
back.
tea is almost ready.
Welcome back. We've poured us a cup of tea. It's just steeping.
Watching the young, sweet young American person out there striving in the wilderness. The embodiment of all that's good in America. You think it's ready? You have a beautiful table.
With the flowers on it, makes all the difference.
Makes all the difference, doesn't it?
Makes a big difference.
It sure is hot.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I forgot to turn the. You hear the howling going on there?
I hear it. I kind of like that.
You like that howling?
You want some tea?
Oh, sure. Thank you.
Give us a little background. Give us the.
Well, I'm kinda, yeah, I'm working
Is that
on
what
it.
you're doing?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Well, hey, I'm working on it, man.
Do you have any preferences, or shall I just pick one and put it up? Or do you
I
want
like
the
some
new
of that.
background I've been running.
Now, I like a couple of those new backgrounds you
All
got.
right, well, that new background, there's not a couple things, it's just one.
Do we have cream?
In the refrigerator, yes, I'll give you.
Flowers look cute.
Thank you, thank you. Everybody's raving about the flowers. The flowers are getting good marks. Good marks for the flowers.
That's delicious. Perfect. Not overly done. Just perfect.
Oh, it's certainly not overly done. Yeah, just it should be right about perfect right now. As a matter of fact, yes, it should be. It certainly should.
Yeah, you're a big Curly fan. Me too. He's easy to imitate.
Oh, are you gonna play a song? I reckon you are.
No, let's wait a while.
Well,
Let's
I'm
talk
gonna
about
turn
something.
I turn the CD down if you play a song.
No, let's talk about something.
Well, I'm getting ready to get up and go get some cream. You could play.
Okay, well, I'll play a cream song.
Okay. Oh yeah, you know a cream song?
No, I
Which
don't.
one?
I do know parts of
Which-
one or two,
oh,
but
you don't know a whole one? Oh, come on.
what did I know, Booker?
Okay, here we go.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm glad. I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. Go ahead. You know some words? Are there any more words to that song? I thought that was all the ones.
Is that the only verse they are? Well, I'm so glad. Well, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Glad I'm glad. I'm glad. sitting in the middle of space, stuck in the middle of time. Got limited knowledge to go on. Sitting in the middle of space, in the middle of Asheville town, gazing at that spring of blooming. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm glad. Well, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm glad.
Were you playing really soft? Just keep playing like you were. No, keep playing like you were so I can see what's going on here. Yeah, sing this one.
As I walk along, I wonder where from
So strong.
wish
Go ahead, another word. See another word? I'm trying to follow you.
I'm walking in the rain, in the mud, and I feel the pain. Wishing you were here by me, doing this misery, and I wonder.
Will she will stay here? I'm gonna run away. Run away.
Will da 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 da. Just sing along out there. La da 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 da. Da 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 da. Think about the nights we cried and all the things that we'd ever done. I'm walking in the rain, oh, and I feel the pain. Wishing you were here by me, doing this misery, and I wonder why, she went away, and I wonder where she will stay. This is about the little girl. My mandolin playing, run away. without your love. I know I can't be gone. Wishing you were here by me. La da 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 da. It's a good bass. You play bass?
I can keep time. That's about it.
You a drummer? You do music, right?
No. I host a music show. So I play music expert on TV, and that's it. I can, however, keep time, so that's about it. I don't know. It's one of those things where I told my mom when I was a kid I wanted to learn to play electric guitar because I pictured myself as a rock star and all that. And instead, she made me take piano lessons for 7 years, and I hated it so much I refused to learn anything. So after 7 years of piano lessons as a kid, I can't play piano.
Yeah,
That was my musical experience.
Yeah, go ahead, sit there.
Okay, and I'm talking. And how's the sound sounding out there in the lobby?
It's fine.
Huh?
It's fine.
Excellent. So how is everybody out there in TV land today?
Yeah, I hope you're doing well. It's a beautiful spring day.
It is. It's really nice.
80 degrees.
I don't know. I wouldn't say it's that warm. I certainly hope it's not that warm yet.
It was that warm yesterday in some places.
Really? Around here or?
Yeah,
Wow.
out of Marshall.
Really? Wow.
It may have been direct sun.
I imagine. Yeah, I'm hoping with global warming and all that, we don't get scalding Marches quite yet. Give it another 50 years or so.
Yeah, we all want. Yeah, give me 50 years and I'll be gone.
I probably will too.
Nah.
So.
You won't. Will I then, my baby, but I think I will. Take my baby down to Jacksonville. Take my baby
Yes,
down
okay.
to Jacksonville.
You may have the captain's chair and the throne.
I just learned this one off of the. You want
If
to
you
hear it?
scoot up really bad and really lean in, you might can keep your face on the camera, but it might be painful. You can probably, I don't know if you. We have to stop using this here.
That's the stuff that slows your reflexes?
I'll just listen to a little internet radio. You wanna?
Aspartame slows reflexes.
Do you wanna scoot the PZM microphone around to your
Yes, that sounds
spot
right.
on the table?
Being very gentle. Whoop. Trying to be very gentle. Making horrible thudding sounds out there in TV land.
Well, there you go. You have a microphone now, my man.
Yes.
You like a microphone?
I like microphones. I find I enjoy microphones very, very much. In some ways, I think I enjoy microphones even more than video cameras.
Oh, but the combination just can't be beat.
The combination can't be beat. Because if you've got a good radio voice with a microphone, you can be sitting there in your underwear dressed as a slob, but still project a sense of elegance. And with a TV camera at you, you really, it takes a whole lot more work.
But he doesn't do very much elegance. Howard Stern.
Yeah, Howard Stern doesn't do elegance very well. The guy can talk. There's no question about that.
All monkeys can talk.
Yes. Well, as I watched this...
I think you're not a big Stern fan.
Well, no, I think we're all monkeys.
I am and I'm not. I'm a Stern fan.
I'd say that's probably a good description of where I'm at as well. I mean, I have a certain respect for the guy, but, I mean,
He's not Scotty Roadheimer, that's for sure.
Yeah. The guy tangled with the FCC plenty and managed to get a B up their butt, so for that I give him props, but
Right.
his stuff isn't exactly my taste. So Howard Stern, I know you're not listening, I know you're not watching, I know you're never gonna, but I'll just say...
He's probably taking a few hits of speed in the morning and watches everything. What else is
It has 1,000 screens up there and takes it all in at once. But
Everything that's broadcasted, every time the word Howard Stern is uttered, it is suddenly relayed to his computer and it comes up on a big screen. Howard Stern, Howard Stern, Howard Stern.
He's got the money to be able to afford a system like that. I mean, you know, wouldn't it be funny though, because we have a vision of the federal government having, you know, the latest and greatest technology, but I hear that the FBI database is in fact incredibly antiquated. Wouldn't it be funny if Howard Stern,
I think they've upgraded recently.
Maybe. I was just thinking it would be funny if, in fact, Howard Stern has a more sophisticated system for monitoring the media and doing data mining than the NSA. But the only thing he data mines for is his own name.
Probably better than the NSA. Yeah, I should expect so. The FBI, though, they keep their eye on important things, like which governors have expensive whores and things like that. They have a priority. They have their priorities.
Yes,
you know.
yes.
They keep a good eye on
their priorities. Every once in a while,
priorities.
somebody just speaks their mind about the government, and then somebody calls the FBI and says, "Oh, this person might be trouble."
Well, they might need to go up a little higher on the priority list.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But.
Well, I'd say that's pretty high on their priority. When the banks are fixing to go down the tubes, they want Elliot Spencer gone, cause he's gonna take them to task.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So.
You know, the concept of personal responsibility, you know, as projected by so many people, is such a joke. Because the people at the top take no responsibility for their actions.
Seems the higher up you go, the less responsibility they take, doesn't it?
Yes.
I want to run the world. Then you could be the slackest person in the world.
You know what? I don't really want to run the world. I would be content.
I don't want to run the world either. I'd be slack. They'd be like, "You're supposed to be running the world," and I'm like, "Don't talk to me. I'm running the world. Get me a drink."
I'd be content with a small island nation.
That's easy. I mean, there's a lot of people doing that.
I mean, wouldn't you seriously just be content with a small island nation?
Oh yeah.
Presidente Blackwell.
A planet. Why not wish for a planet? There's lots of them out there. It's a big universe.
Don't say anything about Mars. They'll be on us. What it is all the
Mars Anti-Defamation League.
Yeah, all the Martians that have been living underground. See, our rovers don't see them because they're all underground. They've had to go underground since their atmosphere went fluey, and so they've adapted quite well to operating underground. But they've just about run out of ground to be under. See, they're running out of resources under the ground, and they need to colonize our planet. And so they figure if they can fluey our atmosphere, if they can fluey our atmosphere, see, that'll get rid of the only problem with them colonizing our planet is we're in the way. See what I mean?
Well,
so
I've got a bumper sticker that's patented. It says that human beings are an endangered species. Because
May happen one day.
It's.
Are you trying to sell
I'm
them?
not trying to say anything.
Are you trying to sell them to whales?
That'd be a good one. Wouldn't it? Save the endangered humans.
I just remembered a phone call I need to make before 5 o'clock. I'll be right back, gentlemen.
Okay.
Tell them we said hello.
I shall do so.
You got slightly over 10 minutes. All right, are you going to do Free Tibet for me or not? Or do you have to retune for that, or do you do it this time?
You want to do that? Let's do it again today. I just saw a picture in the Times of these monks that busted through the. They were doing a guided tour. The Chinese were doing a guided tour in the Zhohang.
Province.
No, Zhohang Temple, the most sacred temple. They were in Tibet, and they were given a guided tour to selected American journalists to show that the situation was well under control.
Oh yeah.
And 6 or 7 young Tibetan monks busted into the conference where the journalists were and started raising Cain, saying that they were false monks in the temple, that they were going to give answers to them, and that there was no religious freedom in Tibet, and it's time for the world to stand up for Tibet.
Wow.
You know, for what it's worth.
Wow.
On my part. Yeah.
Hang on a minute. Let me pour some tea, okay? Yeah, it's still warming up a little bit, but just because I've got to put tea and stuff into 2 more pots since the water's started, and we've got some really good tea coming along here. Apparently 2 of these didn't make that too
Let the people walk as men, free to bet. Light the lamp of enlightenment again. Well, there's a place far away I call a land of snow. And when my heart gets lonely, that's where my spirit goes. There is people there fighting to be free. It may not mean a lot to you, but it means the world to me. Free to bet. Let those people walk as men. Free to bet. And there's much said, like the light of enlightenment again. They said free to bet. Maybe they'd sing the video.
I bet they have it. They got some pictures.
They're fighting for their husbands, they're fighting for their wives, they're fighting for their freedom, they're fighting for their lives. Well, they're fighting for their honor and their dignity. Well, I've got one thing to say, just let those people be.
Free to bet.
Free to bet. Let those people walk as men. Free to bet. Light the lamp of enlightenment again. For the Dalai Lama and the Rinpoche and Padma Sambhava may come again today. And for the gentle Buddha and equanimity, there's only one thing to do. Set those people free, free to bet. Let those people walk as men, free to bet. Light the lamp of enlightenment again. There's a place far away I call the land of snow. When my heart gets lonely, that's where my spirit goes. There is people there trying to be free. It may not mean a lot to you, but it means the world to me. Free to bet that those people walk as men. Free to bet. Light the lamp of enlightenment again. Well, free to bet. Let the Dalai Lama go home. Free to bet. Let the Dalai Lama go home. Free to bet. Let the Dalai Lama go
tell you something. We have got 4 pots.
Of tea and nobody to drink them.
We have 4. We have 4 pots. Well, I'll turn my
Well,
light
let's
on.
have some more tea.
We have 4 pots of excellent tea.
We'll invite all the Chinese people to come and have a cup of tea.
We
with
have
us. What is this?
that's the jasmine.
What's this?
That's the robe.
I thought this was a robe.
No, that's a different one.
That's delicious. I like that.
It is. That's what I'm going to have more of it. But this has just started steeping.
Let's have some of that. Oh, that's just started steeping.
Yeah, all the others have just started.
This one is good.
It's just started.
Ah, bonjour.
It too has just
Bonjour.
started.
Some tea, monsieur. Uh-oh.
So it too has just started steeping.
Is that
Look,
what you mean when you say it just started? That means...
It's just started steep. I just
Now
I poured the water in the pot while you were singing.
So which one is good?
The blue pot is ready. And if you would pour some in mine too.
And then why not?
How you doing, Mr. Howard?
I am doing fantastically spectacular.
Indeed.
Multifaceted kind of way. Actually, I'm kind of...
In a tongue-in-cheek kind of way.
Yes. Actually, I'm slightly bummed because I've been on a job hunting quest that has not been going well.
The toy thing did not pan out?
Toy thing did not. I don't think so. I mean, they're still, getting applications or whatever. So.
Toys.
And they got so many applications that I'm sure they're going to get people they consider more qualified than me. I mean, I think I'm qualified, but they probably got some very fabulous applicants.
I tell you what, you should come out and let me
That was the one I was drinking, so.
Come out and what?
work with my the Mexican friends who work with me. Get a job with them. I think we should send all young Americans out to work with
The Mexicans.
the Mexicans. They'll teach them how to work.
Well, yes, which is why I don't want to do it.
Yeah, well,
Or
it's got to be totally voluntary.
teach them how to learn Spanish.
I would much rather favor a program where we send all the Mexicans out with white Americans to teach them how to not work.
Would you pour me some more tea?
There has something to be said for that. They like to work.
Thank you.
These folks that work with me like to work. They're fun to work with.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. I love working with them.
I must confess, I'm trying to get a job where I can actually go around dressed like this. Which camera? Which camera? This camera?
that's the one.
I want a job where I can be dressed like this.
All right.
So,
Okay.
Get what you settle for.
yeah, pretty much. Sad truth.
See? Like some parties at?
Yes. Would you like to
Come in,
join
come
us
in,
for
come in,
tea?
come in. We're looking for some intelligent
Yeah, I
conversation.
seen it on TV. Thought I'd come on in.
Here we are.
You're
I'm Bob Horn.
Welcome to the party.
Thank you. I just moved up here from Florida.
from you were involved
Tampa
with
Bay.
public access in Florida.
Yes, very good.
And if you would turn, well, that'll be your microphone. I think you can.
So,
do
how long you been here, Bob?
I got here October 15th.
Okay.
So just finally figuring out how to get around. Thank God the leaves fell off. You know?
have you joined URTV yet? You have.
Yes, I just did.
Oh well, good for you.
Yes, everybody should join.
Well, there's reason.
See, I'm
for-
proof.
Pour him, if you would, a cup of the blue pot tea. There.
If you
Yes.
Oh,
pour it.
okay.
And I was hoping you would come, Bob, because I was wanting you to share your story from the public access where you came from with us.
Yeah, public access is in Pinellas County, Florida, and they opened their station in 2002. I was with them for 5 years. I was actually on there also as a producer, plus I was invited to be on their public access advisory committee. And I think it's about September of last year they closed the doors on the place.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, because they had cut back. They needed to cut back on their budgets because the houses are going down, tax dollars were going away. So they're asking each department to cut 5% of their budget.
Right.
So what happened was we were under the communications group, which is under the government channel, and so they just cut our whole station, which they should have cut 5%. So it was a big uprising in the community, but you know, city government just kind of listens and they just ask you anyways. So
Right.
that was on public access. So I thought, well, I'll come to Asheville. No, not really. Public access.
Well, the housing prices aren't going down here, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was really bad in Florida, especially Sarasota and Bradenton area.
I used to live in Coconut Grove. Do you know Coconut
I've
Grove?
heard of it. I'm not familiar with it.
Well, yeah, back in the 60s, it was the southeast tip of Miami.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Happening place.
We recognize it.
Beautiful.
This is more of a personal interest. What was the most outrageous show you guys had on your channel?
Outrageous in what respect? There's a lot of outrageous things in public access.
Well, I'd like to hear them.
We had a clown that liked to break things up and bust stuff. He bought and smashed TVs and computers and stuff like that. It was pretty outrageous.
He's
that's
one.
good.
Let me translate. What was the most sexually explicit thing you had on your
Sexually explicit. I didn't really tune in that late. You know, I'm an older guy. I go to bed. But it was nothing really
T-Bow.
bad. I
I
heard
mean, there's
Tampa
T-
was supposed to be pretty bad, but I don't know. We call it Safe Harbor down there after 10 o'clock. Then they put on the more risque stuff. But
After 10?
after 10 o'clock, there's nothing during the
Right. Oh, yeah.
during the day.
Our rules say you can say whatever you want after 11. You can show whatever you want after 2.
Yeah,
Between
well,
2 and 5.
You can show whatever anybody's interested in looking at.
Yeah.
That's probably more likely.
Between 2 and
Might be
5,
a
Monday
lot
through
smaller.
Friday.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter what they're literally
Who
looking
knows?
at.
Yeah, right.
He asks because, well, would you like to explain?
Well, I have a show on at 2 a.m. and occasionally there are, shall we say, risque elements to it. I was just interested in what other people were doing in that regard.
Yeah, there's nothing I recall in that arena because Pinellas County and there were some songs, things like that, foul language, which I consider foul, that kind of things, but nothing, anything sexual or nudity, anything like that.
But this man right here had strippers in the big studio.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
We actually have a show called The Baby. It's a local late night talk show, and it actually comes on from 10:30 to 11:30. So they have a safe half hour, and then 11 o'clock, everyone starts swearing. Ah.
Yeah, we can't even. They have an 11 o'clock song that right now we can't even say the name of the song.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's people complain about public access sometimes, but you can find the same stuff on TV. So
Earlier.
Being what?
earlier, just the same type of programming. I mean, and you got silly stuff, and you got stuff that.
But I thought it was more important for you to give us the details of how things went down.
Yeah.
At the place where.
Yes.
How originally your
Well, first of all, they told us that we had nothing to worry about. You're safe. You don't have
Right.
to round the horses up or wind the wagons, bring them in the circle.
Right. Well,
We're going to take care of you.
You were funded by, was it the
Peg. Yeah.
PEG being
We're part of it. In other words, they had they could pick who they wanted. Like they had a government channel, educational channel, and then public access. And we weren't on all of Pinellas County because we had some of the cities that didn't get it all. Like I didn't get it in Largo, but people in the county got it. So, but just like Largo, they decided they didn't want the channel, so they didn't have to take it, which I thought was kind of unfair. It's called public access.
I thought there were certain government guidelines that said that public access had to be provided.
Well, what they did, they had a license, and they got up under the license, so they have to wait till that renewal comes up again. It doesn't happen until 2010, so they had the chance to get back in. But since we're no more, it's a moot point.
Okay.
But,
But where did your funding come from?
Our funding came from the cable bills.
The cable bills. Okay. Now, if your funding came from the cable bills, but don't I understand that you lost your funding?
Well, basically what happened, we were on our own. We had our own place and it was a warehouse, and the studio was great. But I heard planes would fly over and we had to stop talking until the plane got by. And then they made an offer because the cable company wanted to get it out of their building. So the county says, "Hey, listen, we'll give you a studio next door to ours, and you guys come in and work with us." And they took our funding and put it in their general fund.
Now, who did this?
The county did.
The county took your funding and put it in their
General
fund.
Right.
Yeah.
And you let them do that.
So yeah, somebody that was in charge at the time did it because it's a nice place and they bribed him. So I don't know what the story was. I came after that fact.
Well, we came on board with that already the situation here. Are you aware of that? Oh, yeah. We don't receive our funding directly from the cable people. The city council and the county commissioners and stuff like that swung a deal with the cable companies,
Right.
and they take the money. And then they divvy out whatsoever amount, which is some minute portion of that.
The technical term is a pittance.
Pittance. To
Right.
us.
Yeah. So you lose control of things.
yeah.
The biggest thing I think it would have saved it because the people really kind of rallied around it, but the community wasn't aware of it. The only people who know about public access, the people that watch it or tune in or just happen to bump into it. And we didn't really advertise outside of that. We started to. That was one of my pitches. I said we need to get out to the general populace and let people know that public access is here for their use. Because you got the more people you have using it,
Right.
creating shows. I mean, they don't even have to create shows. There's a lot of producers who are looking for material.
Right.
So they can come in and says, hey, would you like to produce my show? And you put it on for them or shoot it for them and put it up. And that's what's going to save you, I think, if something happens. Because you've got the community involved, they're going to raise a big stink about it because this is something that's a benefit to them as a citizen of this county. Because what's going on today, I mean, you listen to TV today and it's always somebody's opinion anyways. You got Glenn Beck and who's some of the other...
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
CNN headline
CNN
news is
yeah.
not even
So-
news anymore.
Right. So if that's the case, then we should all be able to say what we want to say. And because a lot of things don't get reported. Like if you go on the internet, you see a lot of things you never see on the news.
Right, right, and I honestly do not respect the opinions of a lot of what I see on your regular television. You know.
Yeah, it's an opinion, but then again, you don't hear the real suffering and the pain going on. Like we have a real issue in Pinellas County with the homeless and those kind of things, and
They won't touch
amount
it.
of crime. Yeah, they just don't talk about it. It doesn't exist, you know. So those kind of things.
Same thing here.
Yeah, it's pretty bad for crime getting underreported around here.
Yeah, right.
We could use more.
Because they want to hurt
community
tourism,
involvement.
and we have the same situation down there. I'm sorry.
We could use more community involvement. I feel.
Yeah.
Of course, you never have enough, I suppose, but
Yeah, I think the key is the community involvement's good. A lot of people get up on the soapbox and start ranting and raving, and we hear enough of that now. If you could poke fun at it,
right.
it makes it more interesting because it's kind of like we have a problem with phosphate mines down there, and they took a Geiger counter and held it to the pavement, and it was just radiating like crazy. And she was going to get all upset about it and get on the soapbox. I said, don't get upset. Just, did you ever wonder? And she put it down on the ground so people got interested.
Right.
You know, so I mean, if you can have who got some shows on TV like that now, Colbert Report, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Maybe not that extreme, but you can make your point and keep people listening. Yeah.
Hey,
Come on in. You'll
40
have,
gallons of tea and nobody to help you.
you have
call
to.
was heard.
You have
Actually,
to.
I need to get my DVD started burning, so you can have this.
Okay. Do you have a
So,
pass him down a
what
clean
sort of
cup.
programming were you thinking of doing around here?
Well, I haven't really given much thought. I have a
Where's the regular stuff?
production kind of call myself Cornucopia.
That is, and this
And like
is.
it's a horn of plenty. My last name is Horn, so I kind of play on
Orange?
that.
What you doing today?
And the
What
show I
kind of
had
teas you got?
in
These are
Pinellas
both
County, I
flowered
do some
teas.
spoofs occasionally.
And these are both regulars.
And basically what I did there was we
they're
had one,
both-
we did one on the
They're
sewer phone.
all.
Basically what it
really
was a
good teas.
marble. And we
The
convinced
jasmine
people that it was a
little rough on
real
my throat one
phone. And people wanted to order it. They were calling, wanting to order it.
Yeah, I may have.
So we had a lot of fun that way. But at least we
I
know
may
people
have
are
a
listening. You know.
Well, anytime anybody's talking to you about anything other than some kind of a slick produced something is something, whether the show is worth watching or not, at least it's somebody doing something other than the slick programming, which is mostly meaningless. You know,
Yeah.
and there's always a chance that you
Well,
could pick something up. If you don't have this public access, you're screwed forever.
Yeah, well, I think the TV, you watch TV today, it's all glitz and there's not much content. Where, you know, when I watch this channel, it's kind of like a relief not having all those little banners going across the bottom and the flashy backgrounds.
Have you been watching this since you've been in Asheville? Have
Yeah, I
you been
watch it
watching
on,
much of
off and on. Occasionally I tune in and actually watch it for a length of time, at least an hour or so. So
That's
one day,
pretty good. Your
who's,
attention span is
yeah,
pretty
who's the
good.
guy that drives around town in the car?
Ralph.
Ralph. Me and my girlfriend were sitting there watching this. We're sitting there watching this show for about a half hour, 40. Why do we watch this? The guy just driving down the road. but we're new to the community, so we thought, well, that was interesting what he was saying.
If you listen to what he talks about, often some of his early shows. Now I used to make fun of Ralph because some of his early shows he'd say, "Well, now we're passing the Methodist church
Right.
here, and,
I didn't know it was there.
and there's the New Ingles over there, and you know, there's 3 more churches on down this road." And but as it went on, he became became more and more given a history lesson and stuff, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was honestly like one of his
He does some
first.
pretty clever things too. I'll have to meet him sometime, but I like the one where he's flying the chair. That was pretty clever. The
Flying Chair turned out to be, I
was pretty
think,
clever.
the single most popular episode.
very clever.
That was a
Ralph's
hit.
You could do a whole
Flying Chair.
series of that.
I know.
Well, we put some stuff on YouTube here.
Yeah.
You know, so or what? Google something.
Google something.
Google
Yeah, you have
Video.
Google, you
Google
have
Video.
Google Video, and you
Good
have
idea.
YouTube. Matter of fact, that's what we started to do before we were axed. We started putting our programming on the internet.
Online.
And you operate as an internet station now? Is that what you
Yes,
are?
we are an internet station now. You
But
just-
what is the quality of your streaming? You
It's
stream
very good.
Is
yeah,
it?
They found a company. You can go to just search under Access Pinellas, Pinellas, and you'll find it, and you'll find their website.
We're talking about video on demand here.
Yeah.
We're going with video.
We
on
can
demand.
contact them, find out what they're using. They do a really nice job with it.
Have you met Pat, our director here? Because she's I know she's going.
I just signed up. I don't know anybody.
All right. Well, welcome on board. I mean,
thank
that's enough. That's enough reason for a celebration here. Anyway.
Well, I think the more people you bring into, it's like my big thing is production quality. You know, bring up the standards because there's so many things you can do. Like I saw one the other night. It was on my website, educateyou.com/video. There's a whole bunch of videos on there on production, and had one where a lot of times we use chroma key here. What they did, they just had a video projector projected on a white wall, and they put themselves in front of it. It looked absolutely great. I thought it was a chroma key, and it wasn't. It looked better than a chroma key because
Yeah.
it was a projected image.
Exactly.
So that was pretty slick. So you pick up a lot of good tips out of that too.
Right. Have you had the tour of the place yet?
Yes, when I did my orientation, did that in
okay.
December, and then I got busy doing other things, and I says, well, let's get this stuff all cut up. And I thought, okay, it's time.
Are you going to be producing a program? Do you have something?
Yeah, I have my own equipment. I have my own. I use Avid Liquid.
All right. You have the big boys stuff.
Well, I got not the high end. I've
Yeah,
got the
but you have
Liquid.
Avid.
I started out with Studio. Studio's a great program. Somebody just starting out doing production. I mean, it's like
I
a
don't
$100 program. It's easy to use.
Which studio? You lead or
It's Pinnacle Systems
Pinnacle
Studio.
Okay.
And I think it's about, you can get it on sale for like $100, but it's like $129. And
Which
it's a
number
great-
do you have?
I have Avid Liquid, but I also
No,
have,
Pinnacle. Which number?
I have the 11, the Ultimate. I just bought
Is that what they're up to now? 11 Pinnacle
We're
is
11.
11.
Has a lot of special effects.
I have one. I have that with one of their little things with a little T-bar and some buttons
Right,
and stuff.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been with them well, that's how I got into video back when it first came out, and that was back in 2004, I think. Because I have a degree in filmmaking, but I've never used it. So, but I was at a Sam's Club, and they had a computer. I went in there, and the computers just didn't have enough oomph to do the video editing. So I was in there playing around. I went to this one machine, and they had the studio package on. I said, this is it. This is time to get into it, and that's what I did. That's how I started back in 2000.
Right.
But Avid's fairly complex to learn. It has a lot of flexibility. Where Studio, somebody's starting out, there's a lot. It can be very complex. Where you're just basically dropping pictures in, assembling it, and then even drop the music in, and it cuts it to fit your music, and it's pretty slick. Maybe do a show on that. Show it to somebody sometime.
Yeah, I've found several programs to be quite similar. Avid's rather expensive.
Yeah, the Avid's like $500, but going from Studio, the consumer one, to Avid Liquid is a pretty big jump. Then they got another one above that.
Right,
comes
it's like
to
2,000.
2,000 and up. But Avid Liquid's excellent. I mean, you're going to have a learning curve to go through, but it'll do just about anything. I mean, you can do multiple cameras with it. Up to 8 or 9 cameras. All you have to do is clap your hands. When you start all the cameras, clap your hands, have a sync, and just start taping it.
sync points.
Then you load them all in, match them all up, and then you can switch between them right on the screen. It's pretty slick.
Well, welcome, and may you make much wonderful programming.
Well, yeah, well, we share ideas. I call it pollinating flowers, so I'm looking forward to it.
Need that spun around or you won't see me.
I host Mountain Dungeon, which
I really
comes
like
on
it. Some
new
bits
episodes
on
every
there.
Thursday at 11
Really
p.m.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different band in the studio every week, and we chroma key behind them. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
Yeah, I've seen your show. I think you had someone on there
Did you write that one?
playing a
Did
ukulele.
you write
And
that?
Mad Tea Party.
Yeah.
they're good. I
They
really
are
like those.
great.
They're great. They got a nice
The great thing about doing a music show in this town is
Well, since the guys, I'm gonna do it till they kill all the Tibetans.
Episode
I'm
50.
gonna take off.
We've got a list of 30 more bands we want to put on,
Everybody
and that's
wants
not
it.
even scratching the
I
surface.
wrote it
Wow.
There's so much
several
music in
years
this
ago.
area that we can just keep going forever.
I don't know,
thinking
maybe
if-
as much as
See,
10 or
right now, when
15
you put a
years
show
ago.
on the air,
They're still killing.
you don't know if
them,
anybody's
right?
listening
Oh,
or
it's
not.
still the
unless
same,
somebody
man.
calls you on the phone.
Oh yeah,
Still the
we've
same.
got no idea how many people.
Well, what happened to us, we started putting
Don't
our
understand that kind of
shows on the internet,
thinking.
and all of a sudden we started getting feedback, and we could see
Killing
people
people.
watching it.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you
There.
can see if anybody's
Bible
watching your
actors
show or
and-
not. People think, hey, my show's great. Well, nobody's watching it.
You know, it'd be nice if
So that helps you a lot. But
the
lots of
human
TV,
race
it's
winds
called
up on the ash
broadcasting,
heap of
and yeah,
history that we
it's
could think
going
that
out
we
there,
could
every little
be
thing's
decent
popping up.
creatures, you know, as
It's
a
like
whole.
seeds, you know, they growing
But I don't
out.
know, man.
Well, supposedly URTV got the grant to get the resources to start webcasting, and that's supposed to happen in a few
Well, I
months.
mean,
sometime probably middle of the summer.
Absolutely. I was in Vietnam,
Yeah,
and
it took
even
us a
in
little while
that
to get
environment,
that.
I
That
tried
would
to
be
be
great.
decent
The
to
biggest
people.
thing is
and
getting it set up.
I didn't do
for easy to
anything that I was
use.
totally ashamed of, just a general.
But yeah, I
war
think it'll make a big
itself,
difference.
you know,
It's just
but
way to be
nothing
able to track
specific.
your shows, get feedback. Plus, it
And,
makes it easy for people to give you feedback. You
just
put
a mad
your
scientist.
website
Current
address or go to
facts
the
or you
URTV
might be
/
somewhat
you name your
surprised
show,
when
whatever you
they
want to put there,
It's
and they
good
can
stuff
see
here
the show you
for
just
real
did plus
soil
all your
and
other shows.
Well, maybe we'll
And
get
plus, you can add other
deliver
information
those in a minute.
about
We
what
might
you're
be able to
doing.
do that.
And events coming
I
up,
was
that
wanting
kind
your
of
opinion on something later when you got time to listen to it, and then maybe give me a call and see if you could maybe
I love this
even
place.
think about helping us
Love
get
this
some of this
place.
straightened out so we can get a good
Yeah, I like
CD cut.
Yeah, I like
won't
this little
hurt you
setup
too
you
bad.
have here. You kind of come in and produce a show.
Live studio.
His,
Yeah.
his production
Yeah, we do.
expertise.
We're always in a larger studio.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're trying to.
You gotta have
I
at
want-
least
I like
6
a
people.
live sound. We're doing
3
this in the
cameras,
basement
a
and
floor
stuff.
director,
We got
that kind
stuff
of
to
thing.
work
So it's a
with.
lot more formal.
Yeah,
trying to
there's a
sit
lot
here
of
and play the
shows that
guitar
are
and
even
do
done
them
out
all
of the
at
big
the same
studio
time,
around
but
here
I-
that are
you know.
not all that formal at all.
This is an interesting venue to
Very
do
much
it.
not
I mean, music videos. You could do a
Well, his
music
little
video.
card said budget something or another on it. I'm trying to remember, so I'm figuring, well, you know, maybe we got something there that
Be
won't
right
seem
back.
like a waste
Want
of
to talk to
time. If he does, you know,
Big
I'll
John
just
for a minute.
break my guitars and burn them in the fireplace next
Nah, don't worry about that. No, everything's
Here,
good.
here I'm gonna bring this over here
I'll
and get you to read us some of your you say you got some
is-
scientific facts here?
Yeah, this is some of our scientific stuff from the Soil and Water Conservation District. I just figured I'd drop by since you had a minute, and I appreciate you giving me a minute on planning proactively for growth. These are just some of the things that they've been able to figure out and talk up between themselves that we might be able to do. Here's some of the facts. North Carolina's population is growing fast, right?
We definitely know that around here. Around here, we notice that, don't we?
But here's-
No, somebody took my place.
Here's-
down in Florida. Yeah.
Here's how official.
Somebody from North Carolina
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Here's how officially fast it's
Two
happening.
people.
21 people move to North Carolina every hour. That's more than 500 people per day. And by the year of 20 and 30, North Carolina population is expected to increase 50% to 12 million people
By when?
by
The year 2030.
2030.
That's, I mean, well,
So we got 23 years or something there.
I wouldn't bet on that, but maybe.
Depends on if that big rock where it hits.
Well, or that big ice sheet that's going to hit the.
Yeah,
Well,
that's one of them big
we'll go ahead and
somethings.
act like we're-
One of those
we'll
big
go ahead and act
somethings.
like we're immortal and, you know, all that stuff.
Anyway, next big thing is
50% by 2030, bottom line.
right. Yeah, to 12 million total population in North Carolina.
Come to Florida.
But the supply of land and water is not. Now, here's another interesting fact. At least 383 acres per day are converted to new roads, shopping malls, and housing developments. Per day, 383 acres per day.
They're doing that much in Madison County, I believe.
Just down on the courthouse. North Carolina leads the United States in lost farm and forest land. This is where I come in. You know,
Wow.
we want to stop
We're
that.
the leaders.
We're the
in
leaders.
in the country in lost farm and
I thought
forest
you'd
land.
find some of this stuff
That's right.
interesting.
That is interesting. On the verge of shocking. I had no
Leads the
idea.
United States in lost farm and forest land more than 1 million acres in the last 10 years.
Well, I was thinking about the economy, what's going on right now in the stock market and things kind of retracting. Fuel's getting so expensive, we ship all of our tomatoes all across the country into us. I heard there's somebody around here trying to run all the small tomato farmers out of business by bringing the price down real low so they get the whole market. if fuel costs keep going up, I think the farms will become more valuable here.
Oh, they're so important now. You just
Yeah.
hit the nail on the head, and they're going to be becoming more important. If he can grow tomatoes and he can grow onions, we're all going to have to start doing that
Yeah.
bartering thing again.
which
I
is
think it's
great.
probably where it's headed.
I think that'll
because
slow a lot of it up. Maybe people will start thinking differently.
They can
Eat
print.
locally-
They can print
eat locally
truckloads of
grown.
money all they want, but if it ain't nothing,
can't eat it.
if it's worthless,
It's like my
right.
buddy used to say, you can't eat it.
My daddy went to Mexico years ago and he brought home this ashtray and I said, well, that's money, ain't it? He said, yeah, that's what they do with their money down there. It's worthless.
Yeah, if you ever go watch
Do
it,
what with it?
It's worthless.
yeah.
They can make more by soldering the pennies together as an ashtray than they can using it as a penny or a peso or
We're paying for
whatever.
ourselves,
So,
like.
you know, yeah, well, I mean, when you got to take 2 suitcases to get a loaf of bread, something, you know, it's beyond fixing at that point.
The Fed will save us.
The
You
pressure,
ever watch them make money? Go to the mint and watch them make money.
just on the TV show.
Just stamp it out. Oh, the
Oh,
dollar
yeah, well,
bills?
it just comes as a stack of paper, and they start running through, and they're inking it and all that. And all of a sudden, the rest of its life, it needs guards and people lie, cheat, and steal for a piece of paper.
They've already spent
But you
millions.
know that. But when you see it made, it just like blows your mind.
They've already spent millions just on that paper alone, because it's cotton too, right? Then they got some kind
Yeah,
of
it's got
special
year
deal
long
there.
money,
So
yeah.
they're
It's high
spending
five.
all this millions of dollars just to get the paper to print it on.
Yeah, we're not really using paper anymore. We're all playing with our little debit cards.
I thought it was made in
I'm
China.
trying to avoid that.
Is our money not made in China? It's not?
I think
No,
Korea makes it.
we owe all of
Korea,
it.
I think North
They-
Korea.
they-
North Korea makes a
they
lot of
counterfeit it.
American
We
money, I
own
think.
all of it to them, and well, that's just what scares me is what are we gonna do when we knock on the door one morning and we open the door and he says, United States owed me and they didn't pay and this property's mine now. Are we supposed to fight or just give them our house?
No, you go no speak English.
Yeah, that'd be it, yeah.
In Florida, they had people coming over
No,
from Saudi
I'll be
Arabia
Chinese.
buying up big tracts of land. And they bought it for investment, turn around and sell it.
That happened near my uncle's house, just north of Tallahassee and Quincy down in there.
They probably wish they sold it by now.
The things that are at risk going on down the
They'll
list
probably say
here
America's a bad investment.
is a clean and abundant water supply. You know, every person that turns the faucet on to get some, that's just less that's there. The wildlife and native plants are going to suffer, you know, because of the fact of the grading, and this is not even counting our drought periods like we had this last year. Our scenic beauty and outdoor recreation is just diminishing just as every day.
Lots more pretty girls, though.
Yeah, you see more
There's a
pretty
lot of pretty
girls.
girls in Asheville. That's nice.
You're
Nice
going to
looking
see
young
a continued mitigation of the droughts and the flood periods because of the deforestation. I would say it's got a lot to do with that. Changes air currents out top of the mountain, you know.
global warming.
It's going to affect food and wood production. It's going to be putting more air pollution up in the air. It's going to be double if the population is going to be double. And, you know, natural resource-based jobs are going to be affected also as well. You know, some of these conservation jobs and park ranger things, the more the trees they cut down, the less they're going to need of that. You know, anytime that you can leave it natural and not develop through any kind of conservation means at all it's a good thing. And we've got conservation easements that we're working on currently, you know, that, and there's different tools that we have out there to preserve the land other than the homeowner being forced to sell it. So there's options, so before you sell,
tell us about
call
some of them.
around and find out some of the options. Well, we have different grants. They're giving some tax breaks to some folks. They're outright buying some conservation easements for protection purposes for the county to be able to use, for all of us to be able to use later on. Like
Aren't there some grants for people who are willing to leave the forest natural for like a 20-year period or something like that?
That's one of the programs that I'm talking about, you know, and what it does, it opens it up to the public, but it's a protected area. It's basically selling away the development rights on it there for a period of time. It's not necessarily you don't lose your property rights.
Right, it's kind of a privately owned public park.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Which
North
is a nice
Carolina is
idea.
actively engaged in trying to conserve at least 1 million acres. Now, I don't know where we're at on that currently. I haven't heard the
We
latest
got a lot
on
of
it,
parks.
but
Well, I'm new to the area, but I mean, we got Pisgah, is that how you pronounce it?
Pisgah
National
Forest. Yeah.
Forest, and then we have Smokies right next door, so a lot of it seems like it's already protected,
Well, you're up in an area where there's a lot of protection.
which is good.
And to a large degree, because they were able to do it cheaply, the land here was very steep and was not populated.
Didn't have anything with Cherokee on it,
Right.
so that was cheap.
Right, yeah.
All they had to do was run the
Nobody.
Indians off. But they've got. Do you know what? If you can go up to Water Rock Knob, do you know where Water Rock Knob is?
do
And
not.
well, okay, it's a really cool place off the Parkway. You can go up to Water Rock Knob. Look it up on the map. It's
there and
it's on the
drink a beer.
Parkway. It's a wonderful place, Water Rock Knob. And from the parking lot at Water Rock Knob, if you look, and I'm thinking it's west, I believe all the land you can see, and you can see a long way, and it's all Cherokee Reservation from there. It's awesome. You should go up there
Really?
to check it. Go up
Yeah,
there.
that's-
Go to Water Rock Knob.
I think most people come up here, they want to preserve them like me. I want to be a part of it in a way where it preserves it. And I gather there's people who don't even want to do anything in Asheville. And one of the people, I don't know who he was, running for city council or whatever who he is. He was saying, well, it'd be better to build it in the city than, because if they don't build that high rise here, they're going to build it out in the suburbs, so it'll just sprawl out. And I said, well, that's a pretty good point he had.
Well, one of the things that makes Asheville, we think we are a little special around here, but one of the things that makes Asheville special is the people who live here, and even the people who move here. To a large degree, are people who are drawn by the mountains, people who like to go canoeing and hiking and things like that, and that brings a certain kind of person here. So even though we've had a tremendous influx of people, we have managed to keep, and as you say, the people who are moving here are generally people who are interested in ecology, interested in keeping the water, waters clean and things like that.
We appreciate that too.
Those are the kind of people
lived here
that
my whole life, so.
Yeah, those are the kind of people that are moving up here. You may know, we have some of the best water probably in the country.
We're on a well, it's unbelievable.
Is it not wonderful water?
Oh, it's wonderful water. It makes no smell, no nothing.
No, I mean
Florida, it's terrible down here.
No,
That's another story.
You can get some sulfur water around here too.
Yeah, well, this is like
depending on
200
the
feet. They
depths.
told
Yeah,
us.
yeah. There used to be. I used to have some friends out near Barnardsville. I forget what the creek was they were near, but anyway.
Poverty Creek.
Yeah, Poverty Creek. I think not far from there. Not far from Poverty Creek.
Poverty
and
Branch. It's Poverty Branch.
Poverty Branch, and in there Whittemore Branch.
That's
up
where
in
I
there?
grew up.
Oh, there's-
I grew up on Poverty Branch.
No, you didn't. No,
I
you
didn't, but
did
I'm
you
going to write a
really?
song about that.
You didn't grow up on
And
Poverty
it all started right here.
But I know where Poverty Branch is. You're right. That's right in that area, and that is some of the. I swear to God, at Poverty Branch, you're going to find some of the best water in the world. And I used to go out there, and I'd go in
They
the
may be poor, but they got good water.
good water. And I used to,
And we're drinking good.
Yeah,
I
we're
used-
drinking good. Yeah, we're poor, but
I used to go out there, and I'd get the first thing
The
I would do
water's
when I
free.
would hit the house would be I would get me one of those big iced tea glasses and go flip on the faucet in the kitchen and fill that glass up with water and just tip it back and drink me a whole glass, big glass full of water.
Yeah,
and
it's cold.
as soon as I finished that glass off, I'd have me another one. The water, I'd be looking forward to that water before I'd get out there.
Yeah,
We'd drive
boy,
out from just from
nothing
Nashville.
like a good drink of water now.
I'm telling you.
I'll tell
Where
you.
is this?
When it's that kind of water.
No fluoride in it. That's what
That helps to wash the apple down you ate on the way in too.
Yeah.
You picked off your tree in the front yard.
All that.
Yeah, we got
This is near Barnardsville.
Okay.
It was just
Just above Poverty Branch.
yeah, right up in there. If you go into Barnardsville from here, right before you go into the big curve going into town, you just branch off to the left there up by the church and up by the little dirt road,
yeah.
and then make a right on up in there. And if I'm not mistaken, Poverty Branch, and I want to say Whittemore Branch up in there.
Where Poverty Branch and Wall Street Branch comes together.
Wall
you know?
Street Branch.
Yeah, I was amazed moving up here. All of our pumps are on the surface. Down here, they're buried in the ground.
Yeah.
They're in the well itself because they come up so high.
It's nice.
And we had to have our pump replaced. We just moved into place and
Mm-hmm.
it died. And
That's a couple 100 feet down.
yeah, so I watched them pull it out. Yeah, they pulled all the pipe out. It wasn't too bad, but they had to pull it out twice because they put a rebuilt one in.
Oh, no.
So they had to pull it out again, but it didn't
Whoops.
cost us more. So fortunately, that worked out. But I was amazed, you know. That
So where are you living?
I live over in Leicester,
Okay.
in that area.
Paris of Buncombe County.
Yeah, they're talking about annexing. And I said, no, we don't want to be annexed.
I think it's too late.
Now, do the people?
No, we're pretty far out.
So you live over there near
That's where some serious
near
farmland's
where
being
Bob
built.
Moog lived.
Yeah, we're next door. Matter of fact, we're butted up on a farm with cows and stuff.
Uh-huh.
We got
But you-
chickens and
Well, Alexander.
yeah, that
out
area,
way.
Alexander back in
Yeah.
that area.
Okay, now where you live, do the people there call it Leicester?
Well, I say Leicester so I can spell it phonetically, but it's
Uh-huh.
Leicester. They say Leicester.
They say
I
Leicester.
I always called it Leicester.
I never
I've
figured out how they
Leicester
pronounce
is what I
Worcester,
usually call
Mass
it.
as
Leicester, I've heard that
you
too.
know,
Yeah.
because it looks
Some
like
Worcester.
Worcester.
Real names call it Leicester. Okay.
A lot of people call it Leicester.
Yeah.
I call it.
I
call
say
it
Leicester so because someone says trying to
Per
spell it.
Leicester
You
from
say
my
Leicester, go
cold dead
L-A-S-T-E-R.
hands.
No, no.
Leicester.
I think it's English or something. Isn't it?
It's Leicester. Obviously, it's Leicester, but I'm told that's why I say that I ask you, what do the people there call it? When I moved to Asheville, I thought that the people who lived there called it Leicester because all the people around here called it Leicester. So I assumed that the people there called it Leicester.
I think they got a little bit uppity when they got that New Ingles out there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You know, grocery store.
They started. Leicester. I do not live in Leicester.
Okay,
I live in Leicester.
did anybody hear it called? No, okay. Now you've been around here a long time, and I think
Yeah.
you've hit on it. Hey, did you ever hear it called Leicester before that Ingalls went in?
No, it was in the. It was in the.
It was called Leicester, wasn't
It
it?
was called Leicester.
And then when the Ingalls went, you're
Yeah, we got that
absolutely
new
right. It
Ingalls
was
in
the
there,
Ingalls, the
man.
new
What we should do is
Couldn't
like,
live
we have
with
an
them.
internet website. You just do a poll. Okay, everybody go log in and vote. Which is it?
You know, doesn't it make sense to call a place what the natives call it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would.
I mean, you know,
yeah.
why do we call Paris Paris instead of Paris? Because they call it Paris. Germany's Deutschland.
Deutschland.
I mean,
Deutschland.
why do we call a place something that the people that live there don't call it?
Well, it's
Started
kind of
with
like
a
it's a
caveman.
way to identify where you're from. Because when I
Started with
first
a
moved to
caveman.
Florida 30 years ago, I was standing in a grocery line, and these two people in front of me were talking about the snowbirds coming. They're going, oh yeah, they should be down here any month now.
And you were looking. You
Well,
get
what
some
happened?
binoculars.
Well, no. What happened? I'm there talking,
They're
listening to them
looking
talk, and I stopped and said, "What's a snowbird?" Because I was like, I'm trying to imagine what this bird looked like, and it was, I mean,
And it's in Florida after
yeah.
all.
Well, I was,
Did they-
and they're laughing at
Did
me.
they
What was it?
describe it to you? Did they say, well, they're kind of red?
No,
rusted?
they said
They're
to me,
talking
they
about
say
the
you
Yankees?
must be one. That's what.
Yankee.
Then I
Have
you don't know what
found
it
that
is-
around here, you have to be careful
Yeah,
who
you
you
too.
tell that you're from Florida, especially from Florida.
Oh yeah, some people are like, you're moving in my space. Well, you know, I come up here and drive slow because it's payback. No, I'm just kidding. When I first moved here, it was
It's
pretty
payback.
because we live in flatland.
Yeah.
And you drive around these mountains, like these people doing 45, man, I'm barely doing 35.
45. You got behind some slow people.
I was
didn't you?
doing 45. Well,
Oh, yeah.
I was doing like 35, 40, and everybody's backing up, and now it's okay.
Yeah, the-
The
Now
adults-
you're crazy as the rest of them.
The adults
I
seem
try
to
not
have
to
a
be.
Now,
problem.
here's a wait a
You
minute,
drive
wait a
on the
minute,
right
wait a
side of the
minute.
road.
Yeah, I
Okay.
stay on my side.
Wait a minute.
Well, that's the
okay.
difference. They can tell
Yeah,
you
I
from
don't want to
Florida.
be around another day.
Yeah.
All right, being new to the area, let me tell you a few things. Okay, let me clue you in on a few things. Okay, all farm to market roads in the state of North Carolina are 55 miles an hour unless otherwise posted.
Right. Because coming into town, they have 2 red flags on it, 45 when you went down Leicester.
Yes, but all farm to market roads
That's good.
are 55 miles an hour unless otherwise posted, whether you can do it or not.
That's true. Yeah, I got to go that fast.
Okay, and there is a certain protocol here, how you speak to people, and stuff like that. And you don't snap at people, and if you have a real problem with somebody and you need to talk about it, you start out by you say, you know Matt, bless his heart. You say.
So nothing negative. Just fun. Yeah, I've really enjoyed the people up here. I really like it. I really have. It's really great neighbors. We go walking around the neighborhood, and all the dogs come out and plenty of dogs out there.
Well, I've learned something about dogs.
What you learn?
Well, I have a friend who I know that he hated dogs, and he lived up there where that good water was too. And he moved away from there, and he wound up living in this place where there were all these hippies and all these dogs, and there was just dogs everywhere. And he was just living among dogs, and I always knew he hated dogs. And so his name is Ron Ogle. Do you know Ron? And I asked Ron, I said, well, how do you like, living with all these dogs? And he says, well, he says, I have learned what dogs are good for. And he says a dog will bark to let you know when other dogs are barking. He said.
Well, we don't have a dog, and our neighbor's dog watches our house. And
Well, at least he didn't say nothing.
We're very territorial around here. Most of these dogs will roam half a mile to a mile if we're out at night, Things
well, we
like
go
that.
for a
They've got
walk,
big
and this
territory.
neighbor dog.
They're good
goes the whole way.
apocalyptic food.
Yeah.
We'll eat the dogs first.
You have coyotes, or what do you have up here?
Yeah, we have coyotes.
Yeah, one night I heard like someone whining and screaming.
We have red wolves. You have red wolves in Madison County. When I lived in Madison County, we had red wolves.
Seen any bear out
Red
there
wolf.
yet?
Did
No,
you ever seen
we
one?
live along Bear
I have.
Creek, so-
Beautiful animal.
They've been
Yeah, you
introduced
get that
and
name by
moved
mistake.
over
Yeah,
in
I'm
there.
sure.
Yeah.
They
I
said
don't know
they
what
saw,
they're eating. I wish they'd come up here and eat some of my deer.
A cat up here.
If it'd leave my
Bobcat.
cats.
There's rumors if you.
I'd say they eat a lot of
Friend of mine,
cats.
it's
The
Mountain Tire, I
they
guess
do.
they're on Pat.
Last
They're
mountain
kinda
lion
like
I
a big
saw was
dog,
my Uncle Johnny,
but they're real
husky
pretty.
went
Do
up
they
in the
sound? They don't
woods
sound
when I
like a
was
coyote.
child.
I
I
probably.
was
I
They
don't know
say
what
that
they
when the
sound.
wolves
He was
move in,
gone
the
3 or 4
coyotes move
days, and he
out.
brought it back
But I
down.
don't- I don't know what they sound like.
Attacked a few horses.
they'll
and
prey
killed
on
them over
coyotes.
Chun's Cove here. just
But I used to have one that
now.
used to come up the.
That's the last
well,
one I
like
know
where-
of, and I saw him drag it off.
Where I used to live was
I imagine
two,
you see them
two
pretty
about 2
skittish.
miles to pavement.
You know,
Oh,
see
what
a tail
branch?
disappear.
Another friend of mine,
All right, you know where? Okay, you know where Petersburg.
Grapevine.
Okay,
Either
right.
Grapevine?
No. You pass Grapevine. You start at Petersburg store and you run up toward Grapevine, and then when Grapevine branches off to the left, you branch off to the right.
Bee tree.
attracted.
No, bee trees on that.
No.
Big
What
old
is that
palace.
called?
It had to be about 140.
If you'd say it, I'd probably remember, but it's been so long since I lived
You
there.
say it, I remember it.
Okay, anyway, you know where I'm talking about.
It's
Okay.
probably the only
And I
way
was
they can
on
survive these days.
up there, and I can't even tell you which branch, but it was but it's about 2 miles to pavement
Yeah.
from where I was.
Arrington.
How
No,
are we
Arrington
doing rain
branch is
this
on.
year? I mean, I'm not familiar.
No, that's on. That'd be on. I'm guessing Arrington's would be over on the other side of the mountain because they'd be on over Grapevine, what we call over Grapevine. Because do you Michael David Arrington? He's my buddy from over
Yeah.
on that side, and Michael he's called it the dark side. He says we live over here on the. That's where I got that.
Grapevine.
That's where I got that from. The dark side is from Michael.
Before that,
But,
there was like 6 bushel.
When I first came
Now
to
what I
Florida,
forget what I and I lived up in there, and there was a red wolf would come up
you know.
my road
Well, it does that
and stand
sometimes,
and look
so-
at me
But the
on the
weather
front
patterns
porch.
changed in Tampa
You
Bay
know,
area.
and I'd look
It used
back
to
and it's a
rain every
beautiful
afternoon
animal.
in the summer about 5 o'clock
The people who moved in after me killed it.
because
But-
of all the building construction.
Yeah, we're good at
Because
that.
when we moved there in
Primates.
'78, we've done.
Well, you know how that works.
Now it's just all built up.
You got a few of them storms rolled in on you since then down there.
Yeah, we had that hurricane. I
That
guess
was
we had
one of the
4
reasons
of
they
them.
kept it a secret when they
Everybody sees that big
introduced
cloud
them.
over Florida
They
and
were
think it's the
afraid
whole
that
state.
That's when I left.
local
Florida,
folks
so they had a
would
gun
go out and
Navy
kill them
down
on
there.
purpose.
Came
So
back to the house.
it's easy to.
What are they going to eat?
Well,
up
I
here?
guess I've been there long enough.
Looked to
I
me
just
like
haven't
there'd be a
known.
lot to eat except coyotes.
My
That'd be
daughter, she's
rabbits.
born and raised in
There's
Florida.
not a lot
It's
of
too cold
rabbits.
for her.
I don't remember. I mean, I
My
see a few
girlfriend,
rabbits,
all my
but not enough to
cousins,
keep up a wolf pack.
My
Now,
girlfriend
there's
is
quite
born
a
and
few
raised from
whitetail.
Florida.
You know, quite a few
And I'm from
whitetail deer,
Connecticut.
And they'll
so
take one down, I'm sure.
If she's
Yeah,
too
I'm sure
hot,
if they can get one, they
if
will.
she's well, I mean, if she's too cold,
And
I'm
I reckon
fine.
they
If
would
I'm
take
too
a
hot,
cat
she's fine, that kind of thing.
and
But
A dog,
she's
small dog.
She's been here for 14 years, and she's
a big dog they might not.
Yeah, I'd say a small dog.
Well,
but they
that
get a
was
small
part
dog
of
in
it.
about 10
She
seconds.
actually
I was
moved
curious
here
about
with
leaving
her
that
boyfriend.
400-pound
That
barrel
didn't work
on
out once they
Oakley
moved
last
here,
year,
but
you know,
How-
'cause it was
400
just-
moved here for a job of
He was a
his,
big
but
guy,
you know,
you know?
when things fell apart,
And I
she
don't know
decided
where he
why go
went.
back to
They
Florida.
shot him down.
This is a better place.
No, they was just watching him keep
It
an
is
eye on
nice.
him or
Yeah,
something.
I like
I
the
never
cooler
did
weather.
hear where he went.
You can
or
always
not, too
dress. has
I'm
to be
thinking he's
warm.
living in them
But you can never
catacombs
get
over
to
that
be cool
highway.
enough because
Big drain
summers
pipes.
are so hot.
All the way from the top of that
It's never
hill up
used
there,
to,
like
but
at
I'm from
Oniola
Ohio
Bridge,
originally.
all the way to the Sweeten Creek down
So it
there. There's a
doesn't
big
bother me
maze
because
of like
my
Dungeons and
metabolism
Dragons
is going
going
on.
on.
It's okay.
And I bet them bears is living in that
Well,
thing there.
if since being from Ohio, you actually will have winter survival skills.
They have that big
What's really
bear running
funny,
around Oakley from
I
school
admit
kids
a
over every
certain
morning.
degree of kind of impish
Yeah,
delight in seeing
yeah,
this. It's
that's
really
that
funny
little
to
human
see
would be pretty,
native
really good
Floridians
deal.
come
Pretty tempting,
here
you know.
and try and cope
Pretty
with
easy.
winter.
Or drive on the
Yeah,
road.
me too.
Yeah.
Totally clueless.
We don't
I like
have
the way that
much-
the
I heard
veterans
you guys
did
are really
this. Is
bad
they
one
took
back in
their
the 90s
dead
or
out
someplace
and
in
cut
there.
them up. And
Well,
fed
Well,
them
there's
to
this one
vultures.
blizzard everybody keeps
Yeah.
talking about. That was before my
they don't
time.
usually show
Yeah.
that, but they did do that. They
And it
cut
sounded
their
pretty
dead up
severe. I
and
mean, part of
they
it
had
it
lots
sounded
of
like a pretty
buzzards.
hefty blizzard, and
They
part
knew
of
when
it
somebody
is the
died, the
infrastructure
buzzards
around
would see
here
the
really
buzzards
isn't
coming in.
adept at dealing
Mortician have
with.
to shut
They
down.
were so really bad now. They
Didn't
could
need the
not get out.
services
Well, you know,
anymore.
it's
They said it was
a
up
lot
over
of
the car
humans, more
windows.
humans than anything.
So
More
they
of the
had to, like,
primates.
wait out.
Yeah.
We're good at, we can
But you know, it's there aren't that many snow plows. The
reproduce anybody
power
on the
lines around
planet.
here just don't seem to be as
We
durable
learned how to do a few
handling the
things
winter and the
extremely
like.
well, haven't we?
Yeah.
If we work a little more on our
Compared to the
humanity,
winter I
we'll be
spent in
all right.
Ithaca, New York, in which it's
Yeah, I've
just
been
part of the
reading a book on
routine. I mean, there's
evolutionary psychology, and we're
unbelievable
just
amount of
jazzed
snow.
up
I moved there right
monkeys.
before
We
the
just
worst
don't-
winters they
we
had
just
on
don't
record.
realize it. And if we
And
did
part of the
realize it,
routine of
then
getting
we
ready
might
for
change some
work,
of our
like a few
behavior.
weeks
All this
straight, me and my roommates, we
social
gave ourselves
status-
90
well, not
minutes
just
before we
social
had to go
status,
to
but
work to
that's
start
what's
digging
going
the
on with
cars
wars
out.
and everything.
Every day
We
it's
think
like, all
we
right,
have
guys,
some
let's
kind of
go
a real reason, but
dig out the cars.
we're basically, it's
Yeah.
about status and hierarchy and controlling resources, and we can't help it because it's
Yeah,
not
so I
what we
survived
want
my
to do
first winter.
necessarily. It's what evolution says.
I'm looking
This
forward
is
to
how
spring.
we operated back when
No,
it was
spring's a
Just
beautiful around
cavemen
here.
just a
and
few
such.
people,
Just
you know.
cavemen storing it up.
Yeah, now we're cavemen
It's
with
new to me.
guns
'Cause people live here,
and
they take it for
tanks
granted,
and nuclear
like,
weapons.
And they're trying
Lord
to
help
take.
us.
They're trying to take
Well,
ours.
this
Yeah,
place,
Lord
Asheville, has
help
the
us.
mildest
They can't have
winters of
mine.
any place I've ever lived. So
I earned.
Well, I noticed
earned
when
the right
storms
to
come
keep it.
up, they hit the mountains, they just kind of fall apart.
yeah.
Well,
And then they reconstitute themselves. And they
But
just-
I hope we
just
can
kind
get out of that frame
Like Tennessee, I
and
think
that
that's
mentality there for a while. I
Just be
think
ready
there's
because
been
there's very good
the,
odds
We could use a
winter's
break,
not
couldn't we?
over yet.
Well,
That's
there'd
what I hear.
probably
Be,
people living in
there's probably going to be
fear,
one
and
big
just
snow.
to get
One
their
more big
agenda
snow.
go
Yeah.
keep you rolling, and
Well, that'd be fun.
Absolutely.
nobody's
My
buying
girlfriend
it
will love it.
and
anymore.
everybody knows
Every time she sees
Yeah,
she
nobody's
says,
We all
buying
know
she
it.
just goes,
We all know it. You know,
Okay.
ain't no secret.
okay.
But at the
I'm at the
can
point
head
where
monkey,
I can
it's
appreciate
in
snow
monkey
again,
society,
having
the
been
head
out of
monkey
Connecticut for as long
gets
as I
all
have.
the coconuts.
But you know,
So
there's
if you're
time.
on the head monkey side, then
I
you
remember
get more
being in my early
coconuts than the
20s and
people
me and a
that are
friend of
not on
mine
the
were
head
walking home
monkey
from
side. Everybody's advantage.
I think that they want to continue to have a little more for whatever reason.
Made like that with grandpa on
Yeah,
it,
that's
or,
cool.
you know,
Oh, that was great.
I know,
You look professional there.
Yeah.
I thought I was real impressed with that.
That was one of Ralph's
Who that
creations.
is?
Ralph made that. Ralph made that for me.
Really?
Show it again.
Go,
I
Ralph.
didn't get it.
Oh, you want to see it again?
Yeah, let's see it again.
Yeah, let's
Okay, well, let me.
I
I'm going to turn these microphones down. I'm going to turn the volume up
Yeah.
on the TV so
Yeah,
you can
let's do
hear
that.
it.
You got any
too,
music
okay?
goes with it? Or?
Yeah, it's got music. I want you
I'm
to
a little
hear this.
teapot kind of thing.
There's music and everything. I want you to hear this now. Okay. Here it comes. Here it comes. Anytime
Now
now.
that would be, we could do a little commercial.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know.
we could. We could do a dance.
It's rather.
Yeah, let's do it. That's cool. Let's have
You
us
ready?
part.
Like
Yeah,
they do
Ralph
the
made
coffee
that
mug
for me.
and stuff.
Okay. Ralph,
Yeah.
Ralph, if you're watching, you really
Did
are
a good
a technical
job.
genius. Go, Ralph.
Yeah.
All right, Ralph
Well-
got a compliment on his piece. didn't he?
Yeah, it was great.
But
Well,
tells
love
me
it.
calling you wanting to do little dolls next.
That's right. Yeah, you can start
Action figure.
Might approach CVS.
Bad
You know, they do the
things,
calendars
Claymation.
and the
Do you have, we have a
coffee
claymation
mug.
expert?
We can say we knew him when. We've already got a signature now.
He knew him when.
Send in your credit card number and.
That's right. We'll take care of you.
We'll take
Indeed.
good care of you.
Autographed copy.
Let's have, do we have background?
Well, I'm getting ready. You know what?
Oh, was that what you're doing?
You know what time it is now? We've got only about 15 minutes worth of show coming. And so I was going to put my end roll in so I would have it in there in time. I was just going to,
Okay.
I was going to go without some background for a little while. Did you have something special?
No, I like the background.
we really haven't discussed what happened last night with the 50th episode of Mount Dungeon now, did we?
Oh, the 50th episode of Mount Dungeon aired last night. Too bad I didn't get to see it.
You know, you should have. Ben was inside and everything. You should have talked to him because he took the band back to his house. And
I did. I went back to Ben's house. I went back to Ben's house. I just didn't get to see it
okay.
air. I saw a little bit of it played back off of the laptop computer, but the projector was kind of being handheld and it was running all over the wall, and they were projecting it on a tablecloth that had flowers on it and stuff, and it was, and it made it more psychedelic and all, but all in all, between that and the dog was biting me and stuff, and I just went on home. I mean,
Yeah, that is a very crazy dog.
yeah, that
You know,
dog
she's
is
very sweet.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
not very bright at all.
she wasn't biting me mean.
Oh yeah, she just play.
Right, get my
play.
arm
Yeah.
and play. Oh,
She's
God.
well, no, she's full grown. She's just
Right.
very still puppy.
It's
at
not
heart.
a
She's still
not
fairly
a small
young.
dog
Yeah.
either. No, pretty good. Like
You know.
good
One of those
sized dog.
incredibly sweet, not very bright dogs.
Right,
But
and she's all over you.
yes,
And
Yeah, we
and,
got
and and wound up like she's on
much.
steroids or
Yeah,
something.
that's just
Lab, is she?
No, what kind of? No, I think she's a
honestly don't
Heinz.
know.
I suspect she's a Heinz 57, but I don't know. Some mixture. Good, happy dog, nice dog. Enjoy Jello. The dog's name is Jello. Enjoy
Jella.
And
Jello,
I
J-E-L-L-A.
enjoyed the dog. I enjoyed the dog and all. But to be honest with you, there weren't enough seats to fit. Here's the deal. Here's the deal: is that we've not found the proper place. We just have not found the proper place to watch Mount Dungeon. We've tried the Bruin View, and it didn't work out. And then when the lamp burned out in the projector there, we moved to another place.
Well, let me just explain. Last night, as a matter of fact, let me get a camera.
Okay, well, let's see. Is there a camera? You want to be on camera number 1? Okay, camera number 1.
There we go.
There it is. Camera number.
Okay,
Wait a minute.
telling my story. We were at the
Wait a
brew
minute.
pub.
I'm not hearing you. There you go.
Okay,
You're
we
on.
were at the brew pub last night at Cox Avenue. We were going to watch the 50th episode of Mount Dungeon. In the past, there had been some conflict between some of the people that have shown up to watch our show and the management there, and like the guy who the management did not like, we told not to come back. So there we were, 50th episode. More than a dozen people showed up. We're spending money there, and we're buying food. And
Wait a minute. You told Michael Foley, who does the show that follows Mount Dungeon, not to come back. Is that what I understand?
I wasn't going to mention any names.
Okay, but you told.
It was implied.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
but he wanted to watch his show too.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think that's great that he wanted to watch his show too.
I know.
And all in all, I think that now, after everything has gone back, I think you should go back and tell Michael Foley he should go back and encourage him to go back. As a matter of fact, I'll go with him if I ever go back. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, at this point, it is tempting to, hand him a lot of money and tell him to go drinking there at this point. Anyway, there we were. More than half the band was there amongst the more than a dozen people that showed up. And it was the 50th episode, and March Madness was going on. And 2 minutes beforehand, because we've been going to the brew pub on Cox Avenue for quite some time, watching it. And about 2 minutes before the episode was supposed to come on, they said, "Oh, sorry, we did the math. We can't go ahead and show you guys show because March Madness is going on. Everybody's here to watch the basketball game." When there's a whole lot of people, none of whom were staring at any of the TV screens that had the basketball game going on. And so I took that as being, I was really kind of insulted by the whole thing, because on the one hand, if you're going to say out of one side of your mouth, support local brewing and all that there, you should also be supporting local television and local music. And that was not the case. And it felt very much like a screw you to me, so I kind of stomped out of there, not very happy, and I don't intend to ever go back there. And I do want to say that I'm not blaming the owners, because the owners have been cool to us in the past. It was the decision of the one manager that was there, but yeah.
Not to mention any names. No.
I'm not gonna, no. It was all on the manager that was on duty at the time, but I was not happy. I was not happy. I mean, that was very slap in the face, considering the fact that, like I say, a whole bunch of people showed up.
Worth of beer
Well, they kind of get advertising through you doing the production at their facility, don't they?
Yeah. Well, we had talked. We wanted to. We wanted.
Them in the long run for you to be
that's the perspective I would have taken.
Well, we were trying
They
to.
never showed very much interest in the whole thing.
We've been
so.
trying to promote a weekly event.
Yes.
Where the producers and the crew for the show all show up. The band that plays all show up. Their fans show up. Fans of the show show up. We're trying. We've been trying to promote an event, a weekly event. Now, truly, we've not had great numbers. But we've been hopping all around, and we've not been getting great.
There have been a few nights in which there was a good. We've had a few nights of a good show up. Last night was a good show.
You would have liked.
There was more than 12. There was more than 12 people there easily. I think we could have gotten one TV screen.
About 120, maybe.
No, there was more than 12 people.
I thought you knew about public access.
I do. I'm just.
Asheville needs a venue.
We were sounding like
For
something.
example, when you're there doing something for public access, you can actually hand out a little card. Oh, by the way, here's our access. Tune in.
Yeah,
right.
Asheville needs a venue, a medium-sized thing where we can.
which came
local
first?
bands can use it and try to, make a little bit of money on the
absolutely.
weekend.
Be a win-win for everybody.
They don't support
Win for the
the
station.
arts. They
win for
talk
the band.
about
Well,
it, but they really don't.
Let's get
As long as we stay down here, and mind
let's
our
team
business.
back up with Michael Foley, and is his name Foley or
Foliate.
Foliate?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
Michael. Anyway, who's a really cool guy.
Yeah,
and
I get along with him just fine.
and the guy that works with him on that show, Larry. Both of them are awesome. I just think they're great. Okay, and I think that we should be teamed up with them. As you realize that they follow Mount Dungeon by design.
I know. No, I'm all about as many televisual alliances as can be forged.
And I think we should tie up with them for one reason. Well, okay, Ben's girlfriend has a projector. I didn't know she had a projector, but she's doing that. Remember, she's doing video DJ stuff. So she's got a good projector, and apparently Larry has a projector that will kill at 50 paces. Some kind of just monster.
Nice.
Bright projector.
Nice.
Like you can go outside and project on the clouds or something,
A lot of lumens coming out.
Yeah, like you can light your cigarette off it or
What
something.
kind of TG Friday
blind
did you ever film down at their place? I know they're really hot over in Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg area for good
We've tried to go for locally owned stuff.
It packs out that place, so
Well,
they're
what-
real good. People do play there, from what I understand.
Well, we don't ever film in places. We just wanted them to show it on the TV screen. I mean, that's all we wanted was we film our show in the studio here. We just wanted them to show it on one of. They have 5 TV screens.
Well, we eat pizzas and
We
drink
didn't even
beer
get one.
and
We didn't even
watch-
get one
and
TV
watch
screen. Yeah.
Our show
Yeah.
when it comes on.
So, I very much felt that the brew pub was not supporting local music or local TV. And it's supposed to be local brewing. So.
Wine. Always just
Just one little.
Oh wait, is it my turn? Can I
Go for it.
what a whiner. Take his chair. We're mic'd up.
Oh, just about done here, right?
We have another whiner coming
I ain't
in.
said nothing wrong, did I?
No, you're good.
No, I'm good.
But do it fast because I got to run my roll in about.
I wanted to make it clear that number one, first and foremost, it was my understanding that you guys had an arrangement with the owners to have your show aired there.
Yeah, was that was that a mistake on our part to assume that?
I don't know what the details that Ben hammered out with them.
Well,
I know the owners were cool with it.
Right.
The owners
so
did not have a problem.
The point of contention here is not with the owners.
Yeah.
The owners have been very good to numerous people
Yeah, I don't
and
have a
other
problem with
organizations in the community.
I don't have a problem with
supporting local. Apparently, the owner authority has been usurped by several slackers, and I can say this with pure confidence because oftentimes I found myself being the last person there at the Cox Avenue Brew Pub. And at midnight, where it's supposed to be closed by 2, they're supposed to be open till 2 a.m., and it's 11:30 or 12 o'clock, and they shoot everyone away, and all of the staff sits at the bar and drinks on company time.
Hey,
I'm not sure if the ownership of this establishment understands what its staff is doing. I'm not sure that's the case.
Right, and so
I have seen personal favoritism where one guy who happens to know the person working there very well can get ESPN put on any TV with or without sound, can get a DVD of a concert put on any TV with or without sound. So apparently if you like or somehow are in tight with the workers there, you can get this sort of favoritism. But if you are another local person trying to do something artistic with musicians and television, so there's like 3, and we're there to support local businesses, so there's like a trifecta of localness there that we're completely being destroyed by some people who would rather not watch television, because I'm sorry, I think there's 4 televisions inside the establishment and 1 projector outside. To say that a group of 20 people that come in every week and each person spends $20 there is not, a valuable part of the community or offering a service or valuable. I mean, we were officially uninvited last night. We were told.
I was told by, I believe he was the manager.
Yes.
That was the manager that was talking to me. Is that correct? Do you know that for a fact?
I do know that.
And he officially invited us to go elsewhere.
Which I'm not sure. Again, the ownership understands that maybe the management is telling people to go to other places to find their
so he's not really
to spend their money.
An observation.
Certainly.
Yeah. So we were invited to take our business elsewhere.
And other observations might be also been had that when we are the only people there, we are told that there's really not enough people outside to justify turning on the heaters and the projector for you guys. If there are other people besides us there, well, there's other people here and they want to watch other things. So the fact that it's clear that to me as a clearly unbiased observer,
what you need to do is get a grip here on reality, and there's nothing.
I refuse.
Look at it from the managers and the servers' point of view. Okay, look, listen to me for a minute. I'm about to run out of time here, but think of yourself as a waiter, someone who's working in that establishment. There is nothing like if you can run off just about everybody in the place and come down to the point and just be able to sit down and drink beer and watch a basketball game in peace. And not have to serve pizzas and stuff. It's really to be preferred. Okay.
It don't make me want to go over there.
Here we go.
Well, if you get along with people over there, you can get anything.
I can't get along with people there.
Watch The Casey Waters Show, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. on URTV. Join me, your host, Casey Waters, as I present to you unique and useful insight into complex niches of philosophy with a Buddhist,
I've not produced one yet. I'm like,
what do we use to produce the show?
live? I mean, do you kind of edit it?
We have a good mix of live and produced television shows
that are interwoven to give you a fresh new perspective.
Sorry, but I'm
on
running out of time. I thought my
situations.
credits wouldn't come up.
Also, I have book reviews on my show. I review books that deal with frontier quantum physics, UFOs, prayer, and other topics. Also, included in the Casey Waters Show is fascinating graphic artwork by Judson Laird, featuring his varied styles of captivating art that are manipulated using interesting graphic techniques. So, don't forget to watch the Casey Waters Show Sunday nights, 9 p.m. on URTV. You never know what will be next on this wonderful show.
Good morning. Welcome to the Pleasure Saucer. Always Cry Theater at a crowd of 5.